Look okay to you?
Yeah.
We're live. Hey, welcome. There's Doc Sanders. He knows all about animals. He's been doing animals for your whole life.
Well, pretty much.
As a veterinarian.
Yes, yeah. But I don't know at all about animals.
Well, you start learning. And we're here. This is part 3 about talking about raising hogs. He's got a dandy book called Doc Sanders Goes Whole Hog. Oops, cover me up, not you. And we're going through the book, but it's a great, the book is a great reference and a complete reference.
It is.
Unlike some YouTube channels that just pick up a piece of it. So you lose context by learning through YouTube unless you have some sort of contextual basis.
This covers the housing and the exercise of pigs and the size of their pens, but more importantly, getting them pregnant and delivering baby piglets and that sort of thing. It's all in there.
This is version 3, and you've got 1 and 2 before that. I haven't identified them as I identified part 2 as such, but not part 1. But I'll edit those and get them back out there.
Okay.
So anyway, I want to stop too. This guy is a great writer. I just asked him today because I hadn't had a chance to read this book. But I'm sitting here before we go online, and he's got Jack's Folly, if I can talk. And it looks, I want to read about it.
Okay.
So anyway, we're not going to tell that story. We'll save it for the folks to buy the book. But anyway, he wrote another book, and it's called Beyond the Barn. And this guy's a great writer. Let me tell you, I enjoy, what is going on?
I'm a storyteller, but I'm not a good writer.
That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
Edit my writing.
Well, you may have some grammatical faux pas, but you're a great writer. So it's direct, crisp, and it's clean, and it tells a great story. You are a great storyteller. So get this book. It's called Beyond the Barn. Dodging the cow patties for 50 years as a country vet, and it's available on your website at Vaca Resources, along with this guy, Doc Sanders Goes Whole Hog. You'll sign this book, and if you buy it from your website, only if you buy it from the website, but it's also available on Amazon. So go to Amazon and type in Beyond the Barn, Dodging the Cow Patties for 50 years as a country vet. Right?
Yep.
All right.
That'll do it.
So let's get back to pigs. We're bringing new pigs home, and we're talking. Our audience is 4-Hers. Maybe you've done goats and lambs as a 9 and 10 or 11, 12-year-old, and now you're ready for something a little more.
Right.
And we're going to talk about bringing home some steers because I've got a scout who's picking up his steer today.
And it's one of the calf scramble calves you're talking about.
Yes. Ethan was able to capture one of the steers, and he's bringing one home. But I didn't tell his dad. I think his dad probably already knows that he should really have 2 steers. They don't tell you that, do they?
No,
but you do. See, he's got this wealth of information. He's probably forgotten more about animals than most of us know.
Yeah, my memory is about like that.
Oh, well, you've taken a few hits over the years. So anyway, and that's in the book too. It's a great story. Okay, let's get to it. So you're bringing home a new pig.
Right.
So you've done your research. You've got a place for them. You've got 2 of them. You're bringing them home. You're bringing home a couple of Poland whites. Is that right?
Poland China.
China white.
Or the Yorkshire, which is a white hog. Landrace is also a white hog, and Chester Whites, which obviously is a white hog. And the thing of it is, if you're deciding what to get, well, here's the thing. The white hogs are more prolific and deliver bigger litters. However, their conformation, if you're going to the fair with them, their conformation, with the exception of Yorkshires, is pretty good. But their conformation isn't as solid in the show ring as is some of the other breeds.
So for new people, conformation is just how they look?
They shape.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's kind of like seeing a girl at the town square that's 38, 22, 36 or something like that. and I'll leave you to
We won't get in
explain
trouble with HR, will we?
that.
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? I wouldn't either.
I would, my wife probably.
Yeah, but I remember I made a comment about somebody's panties getting too tight and get panties in a wad or something like that. And boy, I got a talking to from HR. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, sure. It would be okay if I said underwear. Anyway, okay. So we're bringing the new pigs home. So what should we do while bringing them home?
Well, number one, you don't really want to come home with just one pig. They are a social animal that if you only bring one pig, they're not going to eat as well and be aggressive about eating as if there is two or more pigs. And so it's useful to have an extra pig. And when you bring them home, you want to work to try to make them very quiet or like a pet, where you can scratch them behind the ears and do things like that, and the pig will love it, and they eventually will, but they're not going to know that to start with. So when you get them, so you just got to be gentle with them and work with them a while to get them to do that.
And so these pigs are what, 40 pounds?
Generally 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah. So they're about like yay, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is you want to start them out on about a 16% diet, protein diet.
And this is after 3 months.
Yes.
They've been weaned and they've been born and they've had 3 months with their mother.
Right. Well, no, not 3 months. They've had 21 days to 25 days with their mother, and more than likely they will have 6 weeks or so that somebody's already feeding them and doing that before they become available for the pig scramble.
Shows you obviously I know nothing, so I'm learning too. This is pretty cool.
So the thing is, and when they come home, you don't push them hard on their diet. Take it nice and easy for a couple of weeks till they acclimate to pace. And if it's in the time of year, it's beginning to get hot out, make sure you got fan power that you can blow a fan, not necessarily directly on them, but in the pen. So if they're hot, they can go lay under the fan. And they should have water available to them all the time. And that's one of the common things I see happen is they come out and water in the morning at night and never check to see how much water they got in between. And pigs are also a little bit along the lines that they may spill their water so they can lay in it. They like laying, on a wet surface or in the mud or something like that. And pigs, and I've
Did
said
your wife
this,
break you with that? Spilling the water and going out and laying in the water?
not really,
Okay.
but I just quit taking showers so she wouldn't know.
Sorry, I couldn't help. Couldn't resist.
So the thing of it is, the pigs, when they come home, you want to take it nice and easy with them and gentle with them and pet them and do things like that for the first 2 or 3 weeks. And don't push them real hard with the diet. 16% diet is where they ought to be. And if they're being shipped to you from someplace where they've been on the road a while, it pays to even put some rolled oats or something like that and not feed them their 16% diet all the way. In other words, mix a third of the rolled oats with that, just for that first couple of weeks to help them settle down their digestion and get everything going and that sort of thing.
So you point out that they should have a relationship with a vet. And then, of course, you've got required vaccinations and some optional vaccinations that you go over in the book.
Right. And so you're right. I would not vaccinate or treat anything unless they're sick that first couple of weeks. You want to get them settled down and in the thing, and then consult with your veterinarian on what to vaccinate with and, different things like that's involved. And so those are some of the things about that part of it. And I'd be out there scratching them behind the ears if they'll let you do that, and different things like that.
How about feeding them treats?
Well, that's okay to do a little bit of that, but I think I'd want to get them on full feed and everything going so that they're going to eat plenty of that, because treats is not how they're going to grow fast. Now, we had a client, and Dave is familiar with who he was, that grew the largest boar hog ever. He weighed 1,300 pounds, and the hog actually appeared on David Letterman's show at midnight. And huge hog. Now that hog was getting
1,370. And tell me the dimensions again. It was like as big as this room.
Well, not quite, but
7 feet, 6 feet.
He was probably 7 feet long and 4 foot tall.
7 feet long.
Weighed at least 1,000 pounds.
Weighed 1,350 pounds.
Yeah, I think that's right. He did weigh that much. But that hog was used to getting 2 beers twice a day, and some other treats besides his regular hog feed. Now, 4-H kids cannot be giving their pigs beer for a number of different reasons, and I'll leave that to your parents to realize.
To sort that out, huh?
Yes, right.
Okay. So there's quite a few things that you want to do. You want to make sure that the hog is clean and dewormed and that keep mange and lice and all that kind of stuff.
The worming situation, I probably wouldn't automatically worm them. I'd get a stool sample, manure, if you will, and take it to my vet and ask him to check to see if there's worms in it. And if there's only a couple worm eggs or whatever, I probably wouldn't do anything about it. But if there's a lot of them, then the pigs need dewormed, and listen to your veterinarian on what he recommends to deworm with. And also, if they're doing a lot of scratching, you got to look and make sure they don't have lice or something like that on them. And that time of year, that's not usually a big problem.
Do the pigs get fleas?
No, but they can get mange, which is caused by a mite. And if they're doing a lot of scratching and their skin is looking kind of red and raw, why you need to ask your vet what to treat with. And there's several different treatments out there that can be done to spray them every 5 or 6 days for about 3 times to get rid of mange. The other thing is I would not buy a pig with a crooked nose, because what that means is the bony structure in the nose has collapsed because the pig has what's called atrophic rhinitis. And that is a bacterial infection that eats the bones away in their nose.
It doesn't sound very, very, very nice.
And well, I honestly don't think it's painful for the pig. It makes them look bad. Plus, they don't eat as well. And so you might have performance issues.
And for those 4-H kids or FFA kids, what have you, who are going to the ferry, you want a good looking pig.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
That has good conformation.
So you don't want to be dealing with that kind of thing. You don't want pigs that have a swollen joint or joints, several of them. That generally means that they've got a bacterial infection in their joints, and so they'll hobble around, and when it's painful, they don't eat as well, and a number of things like that. And now things have changed with this because we now have some new flu bugs, but there used to be a standard flu treatment that you could vaccinate them with to prevent them from getting a respiratory disease. In those days, I'm going to make this simple. The original influenza virus that they could get was an H1N1 virus. And now the big thing that people are getting in the milk and other animals and off of chickens is H5N1, which is a totally different bug.
It's kind of referred to as bird flu now, right?
It is, because it's propagated or spread by that was the neighbor that just went by the window.
Oh, is he coming in?
He went on. I got a neighbor that checks on me whenever somebody different comes in and he doesn't recognize their vehicle.
Well, I don't recognize my vehicle either.
He is kind of head of security. I can count on, if I'm not here, he always knows what's going on with anybody that comes in or out. So the thing is, talk to your veterinarian about what to vaccinate for. There's a number of different vaccines, and what needs to be done on one facility doesn't necessarily mean the same thing for the others and this sort of thing. There's things like mycoplasma vaccines, PRRS vaccines, PRRS, which stands for porcine respiratory and reproductive disease. And that's a really bad virus. And unfortunately, it's just way too common here in the States. Now, if you're not farrowing pigs, it's not really such a big deal. They might get sick a little bit sometime, but if the PRRS affects fertility and affects being able to deliver a full pregnancy and things like that.
Well, that's a big issue. So it's fair. I think almost all the pigs I saw had ear tags these days, right?
Yes. It's important to put ear tags in their ears and get your 4-H advisor, FFA advisor to help you, and or a veterinarian can do it readily. But you don't want to spend that kind of money to come out and have something done that is so simple.
Yeah. Social life of pigs.
Well, the thing of it is, they do much better if there's more than one of them, and they are smarter than dogs. I mean, they've got some things like that you've seen my boxer dog around here, and she's smart, but pigs are smarter than she is, and so they can figure things out, as far as what's going on, and they're a very social animal if you're kind to them.
And we talked about the car chasing and pigs last time, so you have to go back and watch part 2.
Right.
And he talked about, and that's also in your book too.
Yes.
Your latest story about.
I will tell
pigs that were chasing cars. That's not good.
Now, I will tell you that generally the white pigs tend to be much more fighters than do the other colors, the black pigs, the red pigs, and so forth. They're in a particular land race and that sort of thing can tend to fight more. Now, once they establish their pecking order, why, there isn't any fighting that goes on.
Well, it happens pretty quickly, though.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. You've touched on feed.
Yes.
Let's, if you wouldn't mind, do kind of a quick review of pig, because let's talk about what the 4-H kids should be feeding their pigs to get ready for a fair.
Well, they should be feeding a relatively fine feed, not pellets so much, but fine feed, because the pigs will eat more. And the whole game is to get them to eat as much as you can, because the more they eat, the faster they grow. And so you're wanting to get them as big as you can. You want them weighing 270 to 300 when they get to fair time. And if you can get behind the power curve a little bit if you're not keeping feed out in front of them. And I personally think the best idea once you get through that first 2 weeks is to have a self-feeder out there for them, which means that you put bushel feed in the top of it, and the pig can come up and put his nose in the bottom of it and get whatever feed he wants. And also, if you have weighed the pig somewhere along the line and have calculated out that they're going to be pressed to get to that 270 or 300 pounds, you can do things like get some milk replacer type feeds and mix a little, feed them, and we call it slopping pigs, where we take some milk replacer, stir some ground feed into it, and feed them that. And pigs love that. And it's a way to get them to eat more feed, is what the situation is. And you don't want them standing around in the mud, although they do, when it's hot, they do like to lay in the muds. And so I believe the best, and there's a diagram in the book that shows ways of having a shelter for them and a place where they can walk out on slats, on boards, where if they defecate or urinate, that all falls through the cracks. And there
makes it much easier to clean up.
Yes, and when it gets so that it's getting kind of full underneath the slats, all you do is your housing is you have it on skids, and you take your pickup truck or tractor and drag it 8-10 feet away from where it is then, and start over with gates again and that sort of thing.
You touched on the health and conditions and parasites, but as you're growing this growing this pig, and I know this year at fair time there were some things that kind of got shared with the animals as they came, and not so much in the pig, but in the goats. They all third of them or half of them got diarrhea and couldn't be shown.
Wasn't there to be aware of that.
Well, one of the grandmas let me know that. Andy Detweiler's sister let me know that. So for those of you who have watched The Harmless Farmer, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing of it is, hey, in the show ring, they're going to get exposed and that sort of thing. But I'd be a little careful about exposure and so forth. And if you believe there could be some issues, the thing to do is to get some feces or something from the pigs that has a problem and take it home and put it in the pen where your pigs are and let them root around over it, that sort of thing. And you want to do that 2 or 3 weeks before the fair so that if they become ill, they're over it by fair time.
You can get it taken care of.
Yes.
Okay. So you've kind of talked about, we've talked about in part 1 and 2. Let's just do a quick review, kind of a hit list here. Changes in appearance and depression, because those are a lot of questions that come up on the 4-H groups. Is, oh, my pig is not eating as much and what have you, and I've got red spots or what have you. We've covered a lot of that, but
right.
Let's hit it.
Well,
again.
the first thing is let's not talk about the spots to start with, and that is if the pig's not eating well and it's kind of got a reddish, like a rash, some places on it, between its legs or near its tail or up close to its face, you might very well have mange in your pigs. And it's good to have your veterinarian tell you what's going on. And there are relatively inexpensive insecticides that's legal to spray pigs with. And if you've got kind of that rash kind of a problem on a pig, it's relatively easy to spray them a couple different times, and you can get rid of it pretty readily. When you buy a pig, you want to make sure he's not lame or got swollen joints. And if something like that happens, well, you're going to need to get your vet involved as far as what's appropriate treatment and things like that, as far as antibiotics and so forth. Because a lot of times a swollen joint on a pig isn't necessarily an injury. It more than likely is a bacterial infection, strep, staph, mycoplasma, something like that.
So, like with it, taking care of any other animal, know your animal.
Yes,
know the feeding habits and how they behave, their personality, and what have you, so that if you see a change in appetite or behavior or what have you, you can take action. Right?
And remember, they should have water available all the time. And I think that's one of the big sins that I've seen happen in the past is they water them morning and night, and they really haven't provided the kind of reservoir where they can get a drink of water whenever they want it.
Okay. Any respiratory symptoms? What are signs of respiratory issues with pig?
Well, generally it's coughing, and they may be mouth breathing if it's getting serious, but most of the time it's coughing, and they may have a snotty nose. It's almost like people,
Well, pigs' physiology and people are similar in some
very
respects.
similar.
Yeah.
And to the point that that they've done a bunch of research on using a pig's heart as a heart transplant in people.
Well, I didn't know that. I knew that there was some research in kidneys and what have you, but I didn't know.
Now, it's not a done deal yet, but I can tell you that they've been working on that for a good while.
Okay. So you outline all kinds of things in your book about preventing illness and injury and the life cycle and how to address that. You have several pages dedicated to that and how to take care of that.
Yes.
And
you need.
I saw this. I saw the people. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Cirrhosis cord. Cirrhosis cord. That was a question. That was a question that popped up, but then somebody answered
it. Scaris cord is more proper way to pronounce it.
Scaris cord.
And what that refers to, the pig that was castrated and they didn't get all the tunic membranes removed with it. And if you haven't done that and you've ignored it and there's a little bit tiny, and it could be something that's no bigger in diameter than the end of this pin, the thing is, and you don't get that removed when you've done that, it'll swell up and get the size of your finger.
That doesn't sound very comfortable.
It.
Yeah. And pigs will get sunburned, right?
Yes, and that's another.
I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of that at the fair. The pigs were getting red.
Yes, and I was going to say that is one of the common things I used to see this time of the year, just before the fair, is pigs getting sunburned, and so you've got to try to provide them some shade, and you certainly don't have to put tanning lotion on them or anything like that. But certainly you got to get them so they don't have to be out in the sunshine.
And you have, there's too many to cover here, and we'll go through. We're kind of running out of time today, but I think we'll probably wrap this up. One of the things I've heard is foot and mouth disease. That's pretty contagious, right? Very.
And I promise you that if you had foot and mouth disease in pigs, every federal official in the country that's veterinarians, this sort of thing, would be on your farm and quarantining everybody and this sort of thing. We do not have foot and mouth disease in this country. We haven't had it since, I think, 1929.
Oh, good.
And it is and it gets in cattle and sheep and this sort of thing, and it's a really serious disease. And that's why all the regulations about health papers, and if you're shipping hogs someplace and this sort of thing, is they don't want somebody to bring in a disease that's like that.
And for some of those folks in Texas, you're not going to get pigs from south of the border.
Oh,
because of the ban with screwworm disease,
right?
Or
but they also have foot and mouth disease. Some of those places. Now, I don't think they do in Mexico, but some of the other places.
But you've seen it. You've seen it around places where you've traveled, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Because you explain that in your book. You've traveled to 11 countries.
13 countries.
13 countries. So you've been to Colombia, Venezuela.
I haven't. I've been to Colombia, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Mongolia, China, Russia.
Essentially, those were for the dairy.
It was more on the cattle side of things. Yeah. Yes, but
you did see pigs.
Yes, I did. Not so many. I was there because of my expertise with cattle.
Yeah, and you have considerable going over how to deal with all kinds of aspects. Okay, so let's talk about before, and say a young person really enjoys raising Ruby. Okay, hi Ruby. This is Ruby. Say hi, Ruby. Hi. And Ruby likes attention. So while we're talking, I'll give Ruby some attention.
Okay.
So talk all you ever wanted to know about breeding sows and even more.
Okay.
You've got a chapter in the book there. So the proper term is farrowing.
Yes, that means birthing pigs.
Yeah.
And
is it important that if you're going to breed pigs, you have a farrowing house?
It's important, not necessarily a farrowing house as such, but an isolated area where you can give them special attention and the sow and the litters by themselves. A farrowing crate is really a great idea. People say, well, that's inhumane to the sow because you put them in there and they can't get up and walk around. Well, you put them in there just for 21 days. The idea is when the pigs are born.
Well, there's very good reasons to do that.
And by having it that way where the sow isn't turning around and doing all kinds of stuff, is that the pigs then can, when she lays down, can nurse without getting hurt or getting laid on, because other kinds of facilities, the sow will flop down and might smash a pig.
Well, he's working on getting it finished up. I don't know if Mark has, but we're going to go now. we're gonna go see his farrowing, his brand new farrowing house.
Right.
So when it gets done, so he said probably this fall. So I had my scouts out there in July, and they loved it. So maybe we'll go out and check out his operation.
Right.
I'll call him and see what's up with that.
Okay. That'd be good.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things like that, and it happens that woven wire underneath the sows and the pigs to walk on is much better for them than concrete slats or concrete boards. And you can have that sort of thing out in an exercise area, but where the sows getting up and down and the little pigs are, there's nothing beats having, particularly if it can be plastic coated woven wire underneath the sow and their pigs. And that just eliminates a whole bunch of issues.
It sounds
injuries.
counterintuitive, but when you see it, you understand it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to go with that part of it. And generally the pigs are weaned somewhere between 21 and 25 days. And you can let the sow out of that farrowing crate at that point. And the pigs then go to a nursery or an isolated area where they can get a specialized diet for a pig that's yet young. It'll be 20% protein and a bunch of milk solids kind of thing in it and so forth. And then as they grow, then you begin to cut back the protein level to 18%. And then when they get into the finishing area, why you generally use a 16% ration.
Well, we're going to finish up. We've got a couple more cap chapters we're going to go through, and then we're going to start on feeding steers and dairy.
Okay.
So we'll finish that up on Wednesday. We'll finish pigs, swine, going whole hog on Wednesday, and then we're going to start in with steers. But I'm going to do one more pitch on the book. So get this one, and this is a book of stories from your 50 years as being a veterinarian, and they're all true stories. I love the way you say you've changed the names to protect the guilty. So it's a great read, 67 stories, 200 some pages, great read. You can pick it up, put it down, great relaxation. Go buy the book right now. You can get it on Amazon or on his website, Vaca, VACA Resources, which is Spanish for cow.
Yes.
And he'll sign it and send it out to you almost the same day, probably.
Generally. Yeah. Depends on what time I get the order.
Yep. So go ahead and step up and order that book right now, and you'll not have any regrets. And if you want to find out more about pigs, go to his website and get Doc Goes Whole Hog. All right. So that's it for today, and we'll be seeing everybody soon.
Have a great evening.
Bye now.